It's noon in Colorado, and that means it's time for lunch with Leslie. Hey everybody, welcome in. It's good to see all you guys here today. Thank you so much for hopping in to my broadcast. Let's turn this baby around. Hi, how's everybody doing today? Oh, a little dark there, that's okay. Let's move this camera so you guys get a better view. We are in my kitchen again. My lovely kitchen. Oh my gosh, hold on. I see something in the way. I don't want you to have to stare at my ruffled dish towel the whole scope. So we're gonna put it away. You guys, I'm so messy in the kitchen. I would love to be one of those, like I go and cook with people a lot, and some people are so clean and neat and organized in the kitchen, and when I cook, it's like crazy. So hey, Janie, it's good to see you. You've been waiting for the scope all day. Not you either. Good. Yeah, I know. I can't wait for you to have your own lovely kitchen too, Gary. Yay, I'm so excited. So today I am going to hand down some of my favorite kitchen tools for a healthy kitchen. And I'm going to go through each one of them, and I'm going to explain why I think it's great to have this in a healthy kitchen. Do you guys see the turkey hearts? Do you see all the little turkey hearts going up? Oh, good. I'm so glad that you're here. Awesome. Yeah, there's little turkeys in the hearts today. So I think that that's really funny. Somebody else was doing it. I think Dawn Little was doing it. And I was like, ah. Oh, there's Lexi. I see you're there, Gary. Hi, Lexi. I'm Leslie. I know. Aren't they adorable? Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you. It's 2 minutes in the afternoon, by the way. It's already 2 minutes past 12. Maybe it's morning where you're at, though, I think. I know, hilarious. I love them. Okay, so let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Leslie. I have a website, gotokitchens.com. There is, hi Lexi, it's good to have you here. Thanks for coming in. Gotokitchens.com. There is nothing for sale over there. The only thing that I want you to buy is I want you to buy into your own health. I am not trying to sell you a thing. And that is a great thing to bring up with our subject today, because the subject we're talking about today, I'm going to be talking about, actually I said 5. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for saying that, Janie. But I said 5, but I actually have 7 here. Hey, Lujane, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I actually have 7 here that I'm going to go through with you guys, and we'll try to move through them quickly, but we will stop and answer questions. You know, time is not of the essence here at Go To Kitchens Periscopes. Yeah, 2 bonuses, that's right. Because I want to be sure that I stay here long enough to answer your questions. So, do you know, I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Maybe rephrase that so I can understand it. Anyway, I don't read that fast, so sometimes it's hard for me to get the comments before they go away. So, so here we go. We're going to jump right in. I'm getting better with the names. I told you it would take me a little while, but I told you I would get them. Hey, Jen, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here today. It takes me a little while, but eventually they will stick in my brain, and then they'll just be burned in there, and then I'll never forget them. So, yeah. It's one good thing about having a slow memory for names like I do. Once I do have them, hey Tanya, it's good to have you here. Once I do have them in, they're like there for life. So once they stick, they're stuck. So, all right, so let's jump right into it. My number one of, actually it's not, we're going to kind of go, 1 through 7 here, and not necessarily in any order of favorites. I'm just going to start with some of them, and we're just going to go through them. But you guys hear me talk about this a lot. I'm always giving Rachel Ray my silent mentor. She's a silent mentor because she doesn't know that she's my mentor, but I love Rachel Ray. And the reason I love her so much is not necessarily even about what she cooks, but it is her attitude towards food, and it's her passion towards what she does for a living. And that's why I like her as a mentor, because she's so relatable and so amazing. So thanks to her, we have been all introduced to the garbage bowl. Now, the garbage bowl, she is adorable. I love her. I try to watch her show almost every single morning while I'm working out. But the garbage bowl is something that sits out. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm going to get, this is your Christmas list. That's how I should have titled it, your Christmas list this Christmas. So yes, I love this idea too. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's sweet. Yes, I hope to be on her show one day. I mean, I kind of have a goal within 12 months of, actually, I said within 16 months of starting Go-To Kitchens that I want to be on the Rachel Ray show. We'll see what happens, because I do adore her. I just want to hug her neck and tell her what a huge impact and influence she's had in my life. So bucket list, that's right. So I have this beautiful, this is actually a signed piece of art. You can see there it has a signature. I bought this at an art show, and you can see kind of, sort of, if I hold it back here, you can. It's this beautiful blue color, and it's something that I don't... You're so sweet. So it's something that I don't mind having sitting out on my counter all the time because it's beautiful. This sits right by my cutting board. Now, I am fortunate enough, you guys see me working at my cutting board all the time. I am fortunate enough to have a cutting board countertop right by my sink, which I adore, I love. And when I change out of this 1980s kitchen, I can promise you when I build my own kitchen, it's gonna have this feature, if not all of my tops cutting board, because it's fabulous and I love this surface. It's easy to keep, it's beautiful, and it's so functional. So, but I have this just sitting right out on my cutting board. So wherever my cutting board is, it's out all the time, so I don't have to fumble around looking for it. Now, what is a garbage bowl, you may be asking? A garbage bowl is for when you are cutting fruits and veg, and if you are not chopping, you are not cooking, and it's very hard to be healthy. Hi, it's good to see you, Clarissa. If you're not... Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you for saying that. Don't make me cry on Periscope today. Let's try to go a whole week without Leslie crying on Periscope. That may be an impossibility, but we'll try. Thank you, thank you. Yes, it is. It's for trashy stock. Thank you, Janie, for saying that. It's for trashy stock. So anytime, he is a sweetheart. I adore him, Lujane. He's amazing. Anytime I cut fruits and veggies, I just throw all of my pieces right into this bowl, all right? Yeah, you're not chopping, you're not cooking, that's right. I throw all of those bits and scraps right into this bowl. That goes into a bag in my refrigerator, and I actually separate my fruits from my vegetables. I have 2 bags in there, one with fruits, one with vegetable pieces, and that all goes into my freezer. I have a friend that actually composts, and so I try to take my fruit bits over to her because I haven't figured out anything to do with those yet. But you just give me some time. Give me some time. I'm brainstorming it right now about what to do with those fruit bits. So, but I just don't like throwing them away. And I don't have a lot of pieces of fruit that I don't eat, like banana peels. Now I use my pineapples, which are sitting right over here. You feed your chickens. I love that. Yep. But yes, but all my veggies do get saved. Every piece of veggie, nothing goes in the trash unless it's moldy or gross. Every piece gets thrown into this bowl right here. That goes right into my freezer, and I use that for my trashy veggie stock. And I am out of trashy veggie stock right now. It is actually on the Go-To Kitchens website right now. It's the first recipe post. If you go to the gotokitchens.com and you type, you hit recipes, it will be the first recipe that's up is the trashy veggie stock. So, and you're going to need a garbage bowl. Okay, so this is, yeah, trashy, that's right. This is one of my favorite healthy kitchen tools right now. So I absolutely love this. Get a garbage bowl, get something pretty that you don't mind having sitting out all the time, because when it's sitting there and it doesn't have trash on it, it just looks really pretty. I mean, so yes, and don't put anything else in it. Like, don't put your fruit in it. Don't put your whatever is sitting on your counter around that you don't want just laying on the counter. Leave it empty, okay? Just leave it empty and just leave it sitting on your counter all the time. It's an amazing, amazing tool. I'm going to put mine back right now. Just put it back so where it belongs. All right. So one of my absolute favorites is, yeah, that's exactly right, Marcy. Things want to end up in that bowl, but don't put those things, your car keys, your sunglasses, you know, whatever. Don't put those in that bowl. Have another bowl for that sort of stuff and leave that one open. Yeah, I have one. Oh, I'll show you. Hold on. we have a catch-all bowl. It's a pretty bowl too, but look at, here's our catch-all bowl. It's kind of messy right now. It has my sunglasses in it, my reading glasses, my headphones are in it, my glass cleaner. There's a champagne cork in here. I have no idea why. There's some lotion in here. There's some lip stuff in here. Whole Health Dana made this for me. This is my lip stuff. It's actually homemade. It's amazing. Yeah, so I actually have a bowl that's my catch-all bowl that sits on my counter. Not my garbage bowl. Yes, yes, that is my catch-all bowl. I know. Okay, so, and it's a beautiful bowl as well. Actually, that's an antique bowl. That's an antique English bowl. That bowl is actually kind of valuable, and I have all my junk sitting in it. But anyway, so here's my second favorite, all right? My second favorite is this. So simple. Such a simple tool. This is a steamer basket. Now, as you guys know, I am a pretty simple cook. I do not do fancy pants recipes. Well, I did some fancy pants sauerkraut, but the steamer basket, in my opinion, is one of the most essential healthy kitchen tools on the planet. And the reason that I say this is for a couple of reasons. It does not overcook your veggies, first of all. You're not losing all of your veggie nutrients down in boiling water, okay? And second of all, yeah, everybody needs a steamer basket. They're super cheap. Second of all, it is good for meats. It is good for veggies. It is good for all kinds of stuff that you want to steam. And I'm going to show you a trick that I do in my giant skillet, which is one of my other tools. So, but a steamer bowl is fast. You can put this in there within 5-10 minutes for most veggies. I mean, asparagus cooks in like 4 minutes in a steamer basket. Let's see, what else? Brussels sprouts cook in about 8 minutes in a steamer basket. This is Splat's relative. It is, it's true. And he has not received a name. Yes, but this is super cheap. You can buy it in your grocery store. Just a plain old metal one. I don't know. I think I got rid of mine because it got kind of nasty. But I got this one as a gift. This one actually was given to me. But you can get a steamer basket anywhere. They're super cheap, under $5. You can just buy a plain old metal one at the dollar store. It's perfectly fine. In fact, I kind of prefer my metal one over this one. This was not given to me. Yeah, this is a nice one. I agree. It has the silicone on it, and this is BPA free, but I kind of actually liked my metal one better. It was a little easier to clean, so, but they come in metal, so you don't have all this green bits on there. It's just the metal that you see. They're super cheap. Go buy yourself one. Watch a YouTube video, learn how to use it. It is an amazing tool in the kitchen. You can season your vegetables. You do not lose all of your nutrients down in your water when you're boiling or frying or whatever it is that you're doing to your veggies. This is a great, great tool. So here's one of my favorite tips for the steamer basket. Lightly steam your vegetables. Do a whole big giant bowl of them. I have a giant stock pot. This whole thing fills up the stock pot. I put, this much water in the bottom of the stock pot. I put a pile of veggies in here, a huge pile of veggies, and I lightly steam them. So I steam them al dente, which means that they still have a slight crisp on them, and I put those in a container in my refrigerator. Then I am ensured that I have fresh veggies to eat all week, and I can just stick them in the microwave. I can re-stick them in the steamer, however you do it, and then all I have to put with it is a protein. So I know that I am getting fresh veggies, all right? What temp does it get al dente? So I don't know the temperature. But I just bring my water. I will put this in there as I'm cutting veggies. I will put this in there. I will get that little bit of them, because you do not want the water to get through to your steamer basket. So you don't want the water touching your veggies. So I get that to a boil while I'm chopping veggies, and then I turn it down where the rolling boil goes off, and it's just this nice amount of steam coming through the basket. And then I put my veggies in there and I cook them. It's different for each veggie. So, carrots are a little bit longer than broccoli, but we actually like our carrots a little crunchy, and they're actually better for for you when they're not cooked to death. So yes, and that's a great way to do it. So just a few minutes. Most veggies, I mean, unless you're steaming potatoes or sweet potatoes, those are going to take longer, but all green veggies, all yellow veggies, all of those, yes, you put the cover on the pot, absolutely. All of those veggies are just going to take probably between 3 and 7 minutes maximum. So a light would be under 5 minutes. And then you can, when you reheat them, you don't have mushy veggies. You have veggies that feel like you just cooked them. And it is one of my prepare tips. It is a great tip for getting those veggies and having veggies available. Because when, you know, most of us like healthy food, but the problem is we feel like it takes more time to make. But when you prepare your kitchen throughout the week or for the week, then you know you have healthy veggies. I'll show you. Don't judge me. This is in plastic because all of my glass is being used right now. But this right here, this container, I made this last night. This will serve my husband and I for the rest of the week. You see, I have my lightly steamed Brussels sprouts right here. This is a chicken and wild rice dish, and I marry these two together, and we just reheat this throughout the week, and I'm guaranteed that we are getting an amazing healthy meal throughout the week. And I did these babies I did these in my steamer basket. So I just a quick reheat, like a minute or 30 seconds in the microwave, and I'm ready for business, and I'm eating healthy, and I've guaranteed myself that I have prepared myself to eat healthy throughout the week. So see, super easy. Steamer basket, go get one. Ask for it in your stocking. No, get one before then. Okay, so there you go. And I did store that in plastic because I didn't have anything else to put it in. I usually like to use glass, but when I don't have any big glass containers like that. So yes, so steamer basket, bingo, bongo, it is a great tool. So along with the steamer basket, I want to show you, this is one of my favorite tools as well. I think everybody in the kitchen should have an oven-safe saute pan, like a giant saute like this. Okay, this is a giant, you guys don't know how big I am. I'm a pretty small little girl, okay? I'm pretty tiny, I'm very petite. This is a giant pan. This is a giant pan. You guys, if you've watched me cook, you've seen me use it over and over, right? It's a great Christmas lift. How tall am I? I am 5'2" and a half, and that half counts, dang it, because I'm short. No, I'm tiny little girl. Okay, so, yeah, I am tiny, right? People meet me, okay, so people watch my Periscopes, right? Then they meet me in person, or they've been watching my YouTube videos or whatever, and they meet me and they're like, oh my God, you're so short. And I'm like, shut it, it's not nice. You're not even 5'2". Good, Chesty. We can see eye to eye then. That's awesome. So this is one of my favorite. Okay, good. See, I'm just an average girl. That's all. So this is one of my vertically challenged. Yes, definitely. Even with my short cabinets, I'm like, can you get that? I can't reach that. And all my friends are giants. Like all my girlfriends are super tall and like tiny, thin, skinny girls. And when we go places, I'm like, yeah, I'm the runt of the litter. That's what I always say. I'm the runt of the litter. Okay, sorry. Oh, can you see my umbrella in the reflection there? That's my gold reflective umbrella to give me good light. So anyway, so this is one of my favorite tools. I think everybody should have one of these. You can get it in stainless, you can get it in ceramic, you can even get it in non-stick. I don't care what you get it in. Yeah, exactly. That's funny, Clarissa. I don't care what you get it in. Get yourself a giant saute pan like this. You see the deep straight edges on this and the nice big handle, and I do want you to have it oven safe, so you can't get non-stick, but get a nice oven safe skillet like this. So it's going to be stainless or enamel pretty much for that. Copper, you could do that. But this is an amazing tool. I use this almost every single time I cook on the stove. This one is a brand called Chantal, sorry, not Chantel, Chantal, you can see it right there. This is an amazing brand. This is an enamel coat inside. I know it looks like it's non-stick. It's actually not. This is an enamel. This is actually hardened or melted glass inside of here. It is, you can use metal in it. You can stick it in the dishwasher. It's an amazing pan. It's kind of expensive. I work with Chantal. I do some work with them, and they actually gave me this pan. It's probably not something I would have afforded for myself. Quite frankly, this is about a $300 pan. I think it is. It may be less than that. But this is an amazing pan, and it can go right from my stovetop to my oven, and I like that because I do a lot of meats that way. So here's a trick. If you want meat, so if you're cooking, I know, yeah, it's a lot of money. So stainless is going to be just fine. You can go from stovetop to oven in stainless or cast iron very easily. So you do not have to spend a lot of money to have a healthy kitchen. Let's just get that super straight, right? I know, one pan. I just want one pan for Christmas, right? But this style of pan, okay, this style of pan is amazing. So it's a huge saute. It has straight, flat edges. You can do so much in this. I have a recipe on my website right now, and it's a 1 skillet steak dinner. And I cooked the entire thing in 1 skillet. And it's an amazing steak dinner. It is so good, and it's super good for you. Even some of you I know are vegetarian, but you could do other things with it. But if you are cooking meats, it's a super great way to brown your meat. Do it flash fry. So do it flash fry, seal the juices in the meat, and then stick this in the oven at 350 for 15 or 20 minutes after you flash fry it. You're gonna have the most tender, amazing tasting meat ever, ever, ever. That's funny. You could do that. That'd be cool, actually. I would totally dig that. So yes, so get yourself a skillet. So here's my crazy tip for this. A lot of times I will put in this giant skillet so I don't have to dirty up a lot of pans, right? And I know that I'm going to have oil or I'm cooking rice or something like that, or meat or whatever, and I know that there's going to be steam coming off of my pan. I will actually put my steamer basket right in here and put my protein or my rice or whatever I'm cooking right on the side of this, and I'm in one pan. So I'm all about making it easy. I'm all about making it simple. If this is very, very easy. Oh no, Clarissa, that's sad. Are you sure you ruined it? Are you positive? Hey, Stacy, it's good to see you. Yes, so you can do, I'm all about the one pan, so you can put your steamer basket right in there, put your protein or your rice or whatever that is sad. Time for a new one. But you can put all that right in there, and you're in one pan, and the heat coming off of the other cooking things will actually steam your veggies at the same time. Now you'll want to put those in at the very end and make room for them, but it's super, super simple, super easy, and that's one of my favorite tricks. So I highly recommend at least, I think this one's a 13-inch, at least a 12-inch saute pan with a lid that can go from the stovetop into the oven, okay? Because I'll have lots more recipes that have that kind of information in it. All right, moving right along. I use that pan so much, it's still wet. Thank you guys, thanks. I'm glad you like that idea. It is still wet from me washing it because I had to wash it. So, because I just used it. So here is my other favorite little tool. Oh, yeah, no, that's no good. Yeah, it's time for a new pan. I'm so sorry, Clarissa. Stick with me. Okay, here's the thing, Lisa. Here's the thing. I am lazy. I have a lazy streak that runs right down my back. And lazy people are inventive because we will find ways around doing something and make it easier. And so we get very inventive when we are in the kitchen and those sorts of things, because I don't like to clean a lot of pans, and I don't, I know, right? Well, she sells pans. She wants you to buy more pans. That's hilarious. So yes, so I am lazy, and that's how come I come up with these kinds of ideas. Rachel Ray, dang old Rachel Ray. Yes, it's problem solving. That's right. Absolutely. How can I make this easier is always what I'm thinking. So I don't want to compromise my health in the process, but I want it to be easier. How can I make it easier? So here's my other, one of my favorite tools. This is a lemon reamer. Okay. I use lemon and I use citrus in a lot of my cooking. And the reason I do is because it brightens up the flavors. My mom does that too. She's destroyed so many pans boiling eggs, my mom. Oh my gosh, she'll just let them go forever. I'm like, Mom, you can't do that. Anyway, so it's crazy. Yeah. These Chantal pans would be hard to destroy. They can go up to temperatures of 500 degrees, so they would be really hard to destroy. I mean, you'd have to be like crazy like cooking, so. Yes, it's true. Find out a way to make it easier. Absolutely. My mom used to tell me this. She used to say, exactly. My mom used to say to me, she was like, you are the laziest child, but I love it because it forces you to be creative, because you will find a way to be more efficient about cleaning your bedroom. Even though you don't want to clean your bedroom, you want to do it faster, so you find a way. So yeah. Hilarious. Okay, so a lemon reamer. I use a lot of citrus. I use a lot of citrus in a lot of different things. This is a great little tool. You don't need the big fancy pants like squeezer thing. This is like $1.99 at the grocery store, and it is an amazing tool. It not only gets the juice out, but it also gets some of the pulp out, so you're getting some of the fiber as well. It does not stop your seeds from getting into your dish. So the way, and I don't have a lemon here because we are eating through our refrigerator right now because we're going to be gone to see my brother-in-law who's on the scope right now in Tucson. So we're going to be gone, so we're eating through our refrigerator, so I don't have a lemon here right now. But the tip is that you start from the top. So you go down into the lemon this way instead of reaming it this way. You go this way and ream it, and that will hold the seeds, and then squeeze it, and the juice will go down into your dish, and then all the seeds will stay in the top. Or you can do it over your hand if you were so inclined. You can just get a few seeds in your dish and just pick them out with your fingers like I do. But a lemon reamer is a great tool. You should have one. It makes it easy, and you get the most efficient use and juice out of your citrus fruits. Because a lot of times when you hand squeeze them, you're not getting everything out of there. So you're missing some of your juice. So yes, a lemon reamer is a great tool for that. I love my lemon reamer. They come in plastic and wood. I just think the wood one's pretty, so that's why I have the wood one. So yeah, I used to think that actually. I think we probably all did. So, are you leaving? Bye, I love you. Love you too. Edison, Robin's leaving and Edison's gonna bark. So there's my other favorite. We went through that one pretty quickly. So, I don't know what we're on. What are we on? It doesn't matter. So here's one of my favorites, and you guys see me use these all the time. I use these all the time. And last week sometime, I actually put a post up about microplane on my Facebook, and I tagged microplane, and hold on, there's Edison. He's just gonna bark. He loves his daddy. He doesn't want his daddy to leave. Okay, all done now. Oh, maybe not. Sorry, guys. Everybody say hi, Edison. There you go, Lisa. Hi, Edison. He's loud. Oh my gosh, he's loud dog. Edison, that's enough, buddy. Come here. Come see me. Come here. Hurry. Come here. Nope, not gonna do it. Yes. So, I know, he's a good boy. So these are two of my favorite tools. These are awesome for healthy kitchen cooking. First of all, when you're cooking healthy in your kitchen, you're gonna be using a lot of fresh garlic. He is a Labradoodle. Yep, he's a good boy. You're going to be using a lot of fresh garlic. You're going to be using a lot of citrus zest. You're going to be using ginger. You're going to be using turmeric. You're going to be using a lot of these things. And this, you can actually see right there, I have a little bit of a stain. That's where I grade my turmeric. I actually try to grade it in the same place all the time, so it's only stained in one area, because turmeric will stain anything very fast. And you can't get it off. It's just there forever. So, but garlic, ginger, turmeric, little cheeses, yep, little. So this was actually made for Parmesan, so you can do your Parmesan on here. This is a $15 tool. This is a great Christmas item for somebody to buy you. They are made by the company Microplane. You can see it right there. Mine is old school. I've had this since they have been a little bitty company in Little Rock, Arkansas. Yep, beet juice. Yep, they will. Nutmeg, thank you. Yeah, spices, all cinnamon, all kinds of spices. they have been a company, they were a company in Little Rock, Arkansas. I think they've moved on from there, but I have been, since they have been microplane, I have had this. So this is an old school one. This one's like vintage microplane. I don't think you can buy this kind of handle anymore. Right now, they're all brightly colored and pretty. So, but yes, this is an amazing little tool. If you watch me cook, I almost use this tool every single time I'm in the kitchen. It hardly is ever out of my dish strainer. Do not put them in the dishwasher. These do not belong in the dishwasher. They're super easy to clean in your kitchen sink. Do not, I repeat, unless you want to buy them all the time. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll tell you that in just a second. So, but yes, unless you want to buy them all the time. Lexi, I love that you just jumped in here and is like, I'm in, we're doing this, and you're commenting, and I love that. So thanks for being here. Yes, this is a microplane. It is one of my favorite, all-time favorite kitchen tools. So I had a picture of me holding this, and I said on Go To Kitchen's Facebook page, I said, this is my favorite kitchen tool. What are your favorite kitchen tools? Unanimously, almost everybody said they're Vitamix, okay? No, I'm not selling anything. I don't sell anything. So I put this picture up there and I said, this is my favorite kitchen tool. What are yours? Because it was brand new to me. My new friend Melanie, my executive producer, actually, good, actually bought me this as a little gift when we were down and doing some filming in a kitchen store. Yeah, Ninja Buds, that's right. So yes, so we have, so I put this on there and I said that, and I tagged Microplane, and Microplane yesterday liked the comment. And then they replied, oh, we have to say it's our favorite kitchen tool too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got so excited because they replied. I don't know why. I was just like, I get really excited when companies like recognize something, like they respond to their customers. It makes me so happy. It makes me want to love them even more. So nope, I do not work for Microplane. And although I should, because this is their name. If you want to screenshot that. I know, it was so cool. I was so excited. Hold on, it's dirty, already dirty. No, that's just a rub in the handle. Yes, so Microplane, if you want to screenshot that, great company. This is one I use for doing big things like carrots and apples if I want to shred. This is actually the shredder. It'll give you really nice, beautiful ribbons. Do not put these in the dishwasher. This is a great tool for that. This is for finer work, and they have everything in between. These are the two that I find that I use the most. I actually have another one, but I don't use it very often. This is my favorite too right here, so yes. And my dad had one of these and I used it. That's how I knew I wanted one. So, and then this one I've had forever. Shut it. Is that a short joke? Because I'm offended. Because I get offended a lot, right? Okay, so there's my other favorites. This one is not only a favorite that I'm about to talk about, but it is a necessity. So this one is one of those things, actually the next two, all right? The next two you cannot live without in your kitchen, all right? So I'm just going to tell you right now. And I bet everybody, what's the next one? Anybody know what the next one is? Just after you've watched my scopes for a little while. I know what I get with you, that's for sure. If you've been watching my scopes, you know what my next, what is a necessity in the kitchen? What do you guys think it is? Type it in. Somebody type it in. Anyone want to guess what a necessity? I talk about it all the time. Splat. No, but good answer. I like that. Splat is a necessity for my periscopes, that's for sure. But what's a necessity? You have to have this in the kitchen to have a healthy kitchen. Because I always say, if you're not, well, that's actually one of them. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. That's one of them. Kim always has the right answers. But if you're not chopping, you're not cooking. All right, so there we go. Bing, 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 winner. Janie gets it. Knives. Okay, so I'm going to show you. These are my old knives. I still have them, actually. These are a Hinkle set. This is not an expensive knife. I'm not showing you these because I want you to go buy an expensive knife. I want you to go buy a knife that is comfortable in your hand. You can buy a really nice knife from Victorinox. that is about 40 bucks that you can sharpen. But this right here, this is called the chef's knife. This is an 8-inch chef's knife, okay? And I know what you're thinking, that is a really big knife, and I'm not comfortable using a knife that big. And a lot of you are trying to cut up your kitchen stuff with knives like this. This little bitty thing, this is actually what I peel potatoes with. And this thing, which is a steak knife, it is not a kitchen knife. And you're getting frustrated when you're trying to cut vegetables. And cutting vegetables feels like a chore as opposed to an enjoyment. So yeah, not the paring knife, but you know how many kitchens I go into and we do kitchen makeovers and, you know, we talk about things that you need in your kitchen to be healthy. I do consultations like that sometimes. And this is the kind of thing that I see people are using in their kitchen. So yeah, so, and this is what they're trying to cut all their vegetables with. And hi, it's good to have you here. Hi, Julia. I saw your scope this morning at the Christmas market and it was beautiful and it made me wish that I was there. I love the UK. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. I could live in London. It's the only big city I could live in. I love London. Yeah, okay, see, you know all about this, right? So this is, I watched the replay. I wasn't there live, but these knives are not cutting board knives. You need a chef's knife. And these are chef's knives. Now they do come in smaller sizes. You might want a chef's knife that's this size. This is a 6-inch, 1-inch blade. This is an 8-inch, 2-inch blade, okay? Actually, it doesn't depend on the job. Actually, it does not depend on the job. The only time that you would use a paring knife is if you were cutting towards your body. So anytime you're peeling something or something like that and you're cutting towards your body, then you would want to use a paring knife. But really, honestly, to do the vegetable work and the fruit work in your kitchen, one of these kinds of knives, a chef's knife like this, is all you need. Okay, so you do not need a drawer full. Actually, I already knew that part of it, but I know I did go to school. That taught me French chops like a Brunoise, and they taught me how to julienne, and they taught me how to supreme and all those kinds of things. But I did know a lot about knives before that. So yes, Christmas lifts, that's right. I know, it's cute, right? All the little turkeys. You have to, if you want turkeys when you scope, you have to put in #Thanksgiving and you'll get the turkeys. All right, you don't even have a paring knife. Good, yeah, good, Clarissa. So, yes, well, these are like samurai swords. These are as sharp as a samurai sword. In fact, that blade is patented after a samurai sword. So kitchen knives are important. Now then, I was saying that you can buy a Victorinox that is, you can resharpen. If you actually watch Just in Time for Dinner, Scott is a chef, Roz and Scott is a chef, and he uses knives that he bought at Sam's. He bought a 3-pack for like 19 bucks, and he can resharpen them, and it is he swears by them. So you do not have to necessarily spend a lot of money. Now, I spent a lot of money because I use this knife 3 or 4 times a day. This knife gets used 3 or 4 times a day, and I wanted something that made my work easy. And this knife actually makes my work easy. So I'm not showing off with my fancy pants knives. I don't even pay attention to that. Don't even pay attention to the name brand or anything like that. They are beautiful knives, and I get it. It was a gift for my husband, but you do not need fancy pants knives to do your kitchen work. Just a nice chef's knife. This knife right here is about $99. This is made by Hinkle. It can be resharpened. You can see that I have almost even worn off the name over here from washing it because I use it so often. But here's the thing. If you have a crappy knife and you're trying to cut vegetables with a crappy knife, if you are sawing, if at any point you are sawing like this, trying to cut vegetables, you need to either get your knife sharpened, okay, or you need to get yourself a new knife. Those are my tips. And I would say don't go with the serrated edge. So nothing that has a serrated edge like this, that is not going to help you. You cannot resharpen that. There is no way. I actually have one with my set that has a serrated edge like this. It's a scallop serrated edge. Yes, they make you fall in love with your kitchen. This is used for certain things, but this knife it has to be sharpened professionally. I can sharpen my own kitchen knives. I can hone them with my honing steel. So this is to hone them. So I would hone them with this, which means get the blade back to center. Or, I'm sorry, I just missed a ton of comments. I apologize for that. Or I actually bought a whetstone, and I am being taught right now how to sharpen my own kitchen knives. So, because there are guides that you can get, but you can take these to any kitchen store that sharpens knives, and they will sharpen your knives for you. And it costs like, you know, $3 to $5 per knife, and it lasts for 4 to 6 months depending on how long you're using. What are the measurements of the larger knife? So for female hands, I have pretty small hands actually with little bony fingers. I say that no bigger than an 8-inch chef's, okay? So if I'm doing more delicate work, this is an 8-inch, 2-inch knife. So it's 8 inches long, 2 inches thick, okay? Yeah, good. Yes, that's right. Thank you. And this is a 6-inch, 1-inch knife. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I just bought a whetstone and a guide to help me sharpen my own knives. So it's a skill that I needed to acquire. And so I'm acquiring that skill. So yes, this is a 6-inch, 2-inch knife. Now then, if you don't have amazing skills with a knife, I do not. I have crappy knife skills. And that's why I'm learning. I'm trying to take classes and trying to learn. Then you might be comfortable with a knife like this. A lot of people have the perception that a dull knife is safer. A dull knife is not safer. A sharp knife, as sharp as you can get it, is a safer knife. And the reason is because it goes through everything nicely and easily, and you're not putting a lot of pressure, because when you're putting a lot of pressure down, that's when slips happen, and that's when you get your fingers, and that's when you get your knuckles and chop off your fingernails and all that kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind. Your chef's knife, when you make an investment, this knife right here is about a $250 knife. When you, that's right, yeah. So when you make an investment in knives and you spend more than, you know, 10, 15 bucks on a knife, you do not want to put those in the dishwasher. They do not belong in the dishwasher. They should be washed immediately after they're used, and they should be dried immediately after that and set on a cutting board or on a soft surface, and they should not touch any other metal. They should not be in a little cup together. They should not be thrown into a kitchen drawer together. If you're making an investment in a knife, you need to have proper care with it. So just keeping that in mind. And if you want your knives to last a long time, they told me that this was a 30-year knife, even if I was a chef and I was chopping all day long with it. This is a 30-year knife, okay? Yeah. Yes, do not throw your good kitchen knives into the dishwasher. You're ruining them. You're ruining the edges. You're ruining how slick it is as it goes through the veggies. You're ruining a lot of things, and you're dulling your knives. It's not, this kind of steel is not made for that high heat. So never cut on a glass cutting board. I do not recommend cutting on stone surfaces. I recommend wood or plastic. Lexi, getting schooled. Yes, so I recommend on wood or plastic. I actually recommend wood, and if I had an 8th thing to show you, it would be cutting boards, and we may just do that. So that, does anybody have any questions about knives? Anything that I didn't cover that you want me to talk about? I'd be happy to discuss it. You do not have to spend a fortune on any of this stuff. That's right. Yeah, and no heat at all. It's these honed steels like this. This is a superheated steel that they get to this. When you reheat it, you have the chance of warpage. So you want to be very careful, especially when you're talking about Japanese knives, because these edges, you can't tell in Periscope here, but these edges of these knives, can you see the difference, how thin? This one's actually at a 30 to 40 degree knife cut, and this one's at a 16. So it is super, super thin. You can see that just a little bit there. This is a German knife, and this is a Japanese knife. And there's different edges. So I recommend going to somewhere like Sur La Table. Where should I store them? Okay. I have a knife block. I'll show you right over here. I'm not going to move the whole thing, but you see my knife block right there? I actually have a knife block that sits by my cutting board, that sits by my garbage bowl. I try to make everything as easy as possible, okay? Yes, I try to make everything as easy as possible, so when I'm at my cutting board, I have my knives right there. I don't even have to walk across my kitchen. They're by my sink and they go right back in my block. If you're storing them in the cabinet, they actually have sleeves that are very cheap that you can buy to put right over the knife blade. There are blocks for the drawer, so if you have a smaller kitchen and you don't want the block on the counter, or you just don't like the way it looks, there are blocks that you can put in the drawer that your knives slide into. But they should never, if you're going to store them in a drawer, you should, wood or leather is best. Yep. If you're going to store them in a drawer, you can lay just a dish towel down in the drawer, but they should have their own space. They should never have their blades clinking or touching together, because you are dulling your knives. Bingo. Just like that. So just, yeah. And you're scratching the surface, and you want this surface to be as smooth as possible. Okay. So yes, because the more that you know how things stick to your knives when you're chopping, especially when you're doing fine chopping, and you get all that stickage on there and you're like, dang, I can't get that pretty cut because it keeps sticking to my knife. What happens there is you have a rough edge on here and things are kind of suction cupping to it. So especially wet vegetables, I always say try to dry your vegetables before you cut them. That will help. You know, so if you've washed them, I don't really wash my vegetables, but if you've washed them, dry them off. That will help excess water not be on your knife. But as you cut them, the juices from the veggies and fruits will get on there and they will have some of a stick. But the more oxygen that is available between your knife surface and your yeah, that's right. Have you seen? No, I haven't seen that. Oh, is it one of those cool ones with like the bead things in it? Like it's silicone and you just stick them down in there. Yeah. So I think that may be what you're talking about there, Lisa. But yes, that will help keep that. Look, there's a reflection. Oh, I can see myself. That will help keep your veggies from sticking on there. You're going to get some stickage because you're working with something that has a juice in it. So just keeping that in mind. All right. So last kitchen tool. We're going to move on. Last kitchen tool is, somebody guessed it earlier, I don't know who it was actually, is the blender. Moving mine over here. Here's my rule of thumb with the blender. You can see that I have just a plain old Ninja. This is a $200 Ninja, okay? Buy the best blender that you can afford. You do not have to spend $500 on a blender to be healthy in the kitchen, but you do need a blender. A blender is a gateway to your health. This helps you eliminate a lot of chores. This helps you make a lot of healthy foods. I always say that the smoothie is the, yeah, no, they're not bad at all. I say that the smoothie is the gateway into health. It's the gateway drug into your health. Most people, when they're starting a health journey, they start with smoothies and shakes and proteins and stuff like that. This is awesome for that. This is also awesome for your snack items because I want you to be snacking healthy, for making things like baba ganoush, for making things like hummus, for making things like yogurt dips, for making salsas, for getting diced vegetables, for making soups, for making smoothies, of course, for making protein drinks, of course, for making all kinds of things. You can make a billion things in this Ninja. I should just do a post that is just things to make in Ninja in your blender. Just a whole blender post. Maybe I'll do that after the holidays. I'm going to do a whole blender post that is just recipes and ideas just for this tool right here. This is a awesome tool. This one is about 1.5 years coconut milk. There you go. Love it. Love it. Yes, so the cheapest, I have a client that has a $16 blender that he bought in 1984, and I can tell you that that blender kicks butt. It works really well. I have customers that can only afford one that they found at a thrift store, and it works fine. So it absolutely works fine. I use my Ninja a couple times a day on average, sometimes more, sometimes less, but on average, this baby gets used a couple times a day and it's doing just fine. You can buy a $99 version of this that has the top that you press, a NutriBullet or something like that. Those are completely fine. If you can only afford a $30 blender, go do some research and buy the best $30 blender that you can buy. There is no shame in something like that. Buy the best that you can buy. Yeah, I was wondering if I should ask my parents for their Ninja. Yeah, so a lot of people will upgrade from this to a Blendtec or to a Vitamix, and that is cool as well. If you can afford a $500 blender, get yourself a $500 blender. It's an investment. It's gonna last longer. It's like going from a $30 knife to a $300 knife. Okay, it's totally different. Yeah, so, and it works fine, Clarissa, right? I mean, it works just fine. It does what you want it to do. This will take a few seconds longer than a Vitamix or a Blendtec will take. I'm totally cool with that. It's louder. It is not as, it maybe not get super fine, you know, like a Vitamix or a Blendtec will, but it works just fine for me. So you guys know that Go-To Kitchens is doing well when I turn up with a Blendtec or a Vitamix. Probably because they've given me one. So yeah, I use mine a couple times a day, and it is perfectly wonderful. Couple of things about the Ninja that I want to point out. One of the things I really like about the Ninja is that it has this 3-blade system in it. So there's 3 blades in here instead of just the bottom blade, and I think that it makes smoothies better and it makes salsa better. So oh, you did? Clarissa, it's fabulous, isn't it? It's my favorite smoothie. I love that smoothie. I told Emily last night that I made her smoothie on Periscope, and she's like, what? Are you serious? She was so excited. So yeah, amazing smoothie. I totally agree. Love it, love it, love it. So, but a blender is a necessity for a healthy kitchen. You cannot get away. They are not just for margaritas anymore. Remember in the 80s, the only reason you had a blender is because you were making margaritas. That is gone, and it is such a necessity in the kitchen, and I highly, highly recommend it. The great thing about liquefying your food like this is that you are, especially if your tummy is a little upset or you're not feeling well, it gives your tummy a break from having to break down food. It's already broken down by the time that it gets there, so. Okay, awesome. Yeah, awesome. So this is, this is a great tool. Ninja, I don't care what you buy. Hamilton Beach, I don't care what you buy. It doesn't matter. Vitamix, whatever you can afford, the best you can afford is what you should buy. But you should have some sort of blender. And I just got what you said. Janie, I just got what you said. It just hit me. It just dawned on me what you said about using your blender until you met me. That's hilarious. That's so funny. I actually have a blender that I travel with. Can you believe that? The first Ninja I have, let me see if I can dig it out. You guys bear with me. It is one of the top handled ones. Hold on, it's kind of far back in here. But this is actually one, I know I'm a nutcase because I travel with a blender, but you know what? When I'm traveling is when I'm most susceptible to eating poorly, and so I have this baby. This is the one. These are about $40 right here. This Ninja right here is about $40, and it comes with all kinds of attachments, and you'd use this as the pulse, and you have to stand there and hold it. But this is the one I travel with because I can get it down into this, you know, this packs pretty easily, and so does this, especially when we're in the car. And this little baby goes with me. So if I think that I'm not going to have access to a blender, so. Thanks, Janie. I'm serious about my health, man. I take it by God serious. So it's, so I have a travel blender. It's like a hair dryer. You got to have a hair dryer. You got to take your own hair dryer. I got to take my own blender. Same thing, no difference. A lot of people travel with their hair dryer. This is not much bigger than a hair dryer. So, but this right here is about $50. This is a great tool. If you can spend 30, save a little bit longer and get yourself, and save 20 more bucks and get yourself something like this. I promise you, you will not regret it. It has the 3-blade system in it. They're readily available. You can buy them online. And then when you upgrade, you will have a travel blender. So, Gary, you look just fine. I love you just the way you are. This is the one that you have. Yeah, this is a great blender. Sometimes if I have a lot of people in the house, I break out both of them and we have them both going. It's like a smoothie party. So. Yeah, so it's perfect for that. I mean, they're just awesome. I mean, I love the Ninja brand. It's just been one of my staples. So, all right, I'm going to throw down one more thing with you. Bed Bath & Beyond coupons. That's right. I'm going to use mine today, actually. I'm going there today. But I'm going to throw down one more thing for you, and that is cutting boards. So we talked about knives. And really quickly, I just want to talk about cutting boards. Now, I showed you that I have a giant surface. Oops. I have a giant surface over here to cut on. This surface right here that I use this, the only thing that I cut on this is produce. That's the only thing that gets cut on this particular cutting board. And I don't do stinky things. So onions, garlic, those kinds of things, those do not get cut on this cutting board. So, and I have a special cutting board that I use for that. Beyond that big cutting board, I have 2 more cutting boards, and this is all you need. You do not need 20 cutting boards. You need 3 cutting boards in the kitchen, in my opinion. You could actually skip the small one, but I just don't like my cutting boards to get stinky because I feel like then if I cut some veggies that I don't want garlic on, or I don't want onions or jalapenos on, then it feels like it tastes like that to me. So I have a little tiny one. This is, you can see it's well used. This little tiny cutting board right here is about, $7 at a kitchen store. It is just made from that non-porous, whatever, fake wood stuff. It's not fake wood, it's like fiberboard. I'm going to show you that one in just a second. So that's what I use for that. I use this one for onions, garlic, shallots, jalapenos, anything that's super stinky that's going to leave a smelly residue on my big cutting board that's produce. That's what I cut on here. Okay. And I use that exclusively. In fact, it totally smells like onions and garlic and jalapenos and it's hard to get that odor off. So I just have one cutting board for my stinky type things that I cut. Then I have another cutting board. Needs to be oiled, actually. I haven't oiled it in a while because I've been busy. But this is actually my meat cutting board. This is what I cut meat on. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, you cut meat on a wood cutting board? Yes, I do. I'm not paranoid about getting whatever you get, botulism or whatever you get from that. Here's the reason why. The reason why I'm not paranoid about that is because number one, I wash my chicken before, or my produce, unless it's ground, which you're not cutting ground meat anyway, but I wash it before I put it on my cutting board. Okay, so I'm getting whatever was left on that. Yes, it does need to be oiled. I'll show you that in just a second. And it's actually better when you oil it to keep it clean. But I wash it. Hi, Dr. Nikki, it's good to see you. But I actually wash my chicken, and I dry it. I actually wash it and I dry it, and then I put it on my cutting board to cut, okay? As soon as I am through cutting, okay? So the chicken is off of here, it's in the skillet. As soon as that happens, yes, I actually agree with that. So as soon as that happens, bye Gary, yep, see you later. Thanks for being here this whole time. As soon as that happens, I put it in the sink and I wash it right then. I do never give it a chance. Never, ever, ever. It's a habit that is easy to get into. I never give it a chance to dry onto my cutting board. That's when you start having problems, is when you set this aside and it gets all dry and it soaks down into the wood and it does all that kind of jazz. That's when you start having problems. I wash this with hot water and soap immediately upon cutting, and I also wash my knives, okay? I know, ew, right? Ugh. So I have one cutting board. The only thing I cut on this is meats. I don't cut bread. I don't sneak and use it for veggies. This is the only thing I cut on this cutting board. So you would have a produce cutting board, you would have a stinky produce cutting board, and you would have a protein or a meat cutting board. Now, if you're a vegetarian, you can eliminate the meat cutting board and you only need 2, obviously. So yes, so 3 cutting boards, super easy. These store just right side by side, right into a little cabinet. I actually set them upright like this along the cabinet so that they do not take up a lot of room. And yeah, and so I have the 3 cutting boards and I'm super safe that way. So yes, that is my kitchen tips for the cutting boards. All right, I'm gonna put those away real quick. I didn't have to do that, but I just decided I was gonna do that. All right, so there's all my top tips and my favorite gadgets and my favorite tools in the kitchen to have a healthy kitchen. is very difficult to eat out all the time and be healthy. I know people who do it, actually, because they travel all the time and they really don't have a choice, and they're very, very good at it. But if you're at home and you have the opportunity, and even those people that I know that do that, when they're home, they cook for themselves. So, oh, how to oil them. Sorry, yes. So there is a cutting board oil. Hold on. Oh, where did I do with it? Oh my goodness. It looks like somebody has moved it. Oh, here it is. All right. So, this is just a mineral oil. No, that's okay. That's awesome. This is just a mineral oil. You can see that this was $3.95, and that's at a Fancy Pants kitchen store, okay? This is gonna last you a really, really long time. You're just gonna do a couple of drops. So you're gonna clean it, you're gonna dry it, you're gonna let it dry completely. So it needs to be completely dry. So what I'm saying is that it needs to be dry. Get yourself some mineral oil like this and just do a couple of drops on there and massage it in with your hand. So just massage it into the wood really nicely, and it is going to put a nice clean finish onto your cutting board and make your cutting boards a lot I know, right? So what I'm saying is it needs to be dry. That's what I was making fun of, actually. So, but yes, so just a mineral oil. You cannot use olive oil. You cannot use coconut oil. You cannot use anything like that. It will actually go rancid if you use that, and you will have problems. You'll end up having to throw that cutting board away. Mineral oil will not build up on your cutting board, and it will wash off over time. So you saw my cutting board was really, really dry. So, okay, let's just do it. I might as well just do it for you guys. Let's get the other one. Hold on. Long scope. I knew it would be a long scope today. So all I'm going to do, see how dry it is? It's just, you can see in the reflection, it's actually really dry. This cutting board was made for me, by the way. Isn't it beautiful? Love this cutting board. So let's point this down. Let's point this down here. Oh, you guys hardly ever get to see my feet and stuff. That hardly ever happens. So I'm just going to put a couple of drops right in one area, and then I'm just going to massage it into my cutting board. Just like that. And then you can you see the difference there? See the difference in the dry and the not dry edges? Makes a big difference. I mean, you can see the line there. This will help keep your cutting board safer, especially for meats. Yeah, see that? Super easy. I let this sit on here. Don't use a paper towel or anything like that. It's going to leave a residue and you're going to be mad at me, so don't do that. So just use your hands and wash your hands off. I just let it sit out like that then, and then if there's anything left on it, I just take my kitchen towel and just gently wipe it off. But yeah. And I would say that you need to do this about every quarter, so every 3 to 4 months, or as it starts looking dry. It's a great way, and you can do this with bamboo. This is synthetic wood, right? This is synthetic wood. I can do the same thing with it. I mean, you can see a difference. See the difference? Yeah. And this will just help your cutting surface. It actually helps your knife move along a little bit smoother as well. And it will help it in the cleaning effort when it's time to clean it. Yeah, you can see a difference. Look at that between the two. So just some mineral oil to take care of that. If you have wood handles on your knives, my knives have wood handles, I would actually do the same thing to my wood handles to keep them conditioned. Yep. So wood bowls, my steak knives, they desperately need to be done. These are my steak knives for when we have, when we eat steak, which is not very often at home. I can put this back up now. I don't have to bend over like a weird person. But yeah, I do my steak handle knives with it. The other thing that you can buy is a board cream like this. This is more expensive. This is $10. This is a deeper conditioner. This will actually move beeswax into the pores of the wood and condition it. This is actually what I use on my big giant cutting board because it's old and it has a lot of cut surfaces in it, and I want it to stay nice and clean. So if you have a cutting board that has an odor that you can't get rid of and you want to get rid of the odor, or it has a stain that you need to get rid of, scrub it with salt. Salt it will take all the oil off of it. If it has a film or anything like that, scrub it with salt. Salt is a natural, what am I trying to say? it kills all the bacteria. It's antibacterial. So salt is a natural antibacterial, and it actually, you can clean it. Yeah, you can just use a salt paste with your hand and just rub it really hard. Lemon juice is fine too. Lemon juice might dull your surface a little bit, depends on what you're working with. I don't actually like to put a lot of acids on, especially my meat cutting board, so because it kind of eats into the wood. But yeah, but salt, you can just scrub it in there really good and rinse it off, and it helps eliminate the odors. So baking soda will do the same thing. You can make a baking soda paste and do that, but again, it's acidic and can eat into your cutting board, into the surfaces a little bit. So just be a little careful with that. That's how you take care of your cutting boards. That was total bonus. You guys got Go-To Kitchen's bonus there, just like that, because I wanted to talk about cutting boards. So, all right, any questions? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Questions, comments, concerns, anything? I kind of have helmet head today. My hair kind of looks like a helmet. It's like very like, it's like perfect today. Thank you, Lisa. I love it when you guys are here. You guys are my light during the day. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you. Oh yeah, hashtag bonus. That's right, bonus scope today. So I thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. It means so much to me, you guys. I'm telling you, you keep a fire in my belly that is hard for me to contain sometimes. I have just a constant fire, and I don't mean in a bad way, I mean in a good way. I have a constant fire inside of me that is stoked by you guys. You totally stoke me up and get me ready to do what I do here, because I really, when I say this, that's awesome. Thanks for saying that, Lexi. But I mean it when I say this. I absolutely mean it. I am on a mission to change millions of people's lives. I think it's so easy and so practical, and there's a practical way to teach health to people, and you don't have to be all fancy pants about it. And it's nice to know scientific reasons about how our bodies work, but getting you started and getting you out of the gate and teaching you practical ways that actually can fit into your lifestyle is what I'm all about. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love that. I love, love, love it. So I am on a mission. I'm on a mission to, in fact, when we talk about a TV show, one of the things that we're thinking about pitching is the whole, falling in love with your kitchen. And so in teaching that whole concept of falling in love with your kitchen again, get out of the fast food drive-through line. Sorry, fast food people. I don't have I do have things against you, but I would never bash you. I'm not meaning that in any way. So not fancy pants. That's right. I know. So fancy pants and practical. That's right. But yeah, I want to get people sitting out of, the restaurants. I mean, you can still go to a restaurant, but not on a daily basis. Get out of the fast food lane, and get into your kitchen and fall in love with the experience of your kitchen, because your kitchen is fabulous. Your kitchen sorry, that just makes me laugh. Don't make me block you. That was funny. But yes, just getting back into, I'm very married, very, very married to a very fabulous man, but that was very funny and it made me laugh. I think even blush a little bit, but, but yeah, getting back into your kitchen and falling in love with the experience of cooking again. A lot of people that love to cook, they're actually fancy pants cooks. I mean, they cook all this fancy food and they cook all this, and that's great. I love that. I love that people are taking that step forward and that initiative forward. But all of us who are not fancy pants cooks get really in. You cook for a living. That's awesome. Okay, cool. But all those people that are intimidated by that fancy pants cooking, it's so easy to be healthy. I made a recipe yesterday. Don't judge. It's in plastic too. I'm telling you, all my stuff's in the freezer that's glass right now. A lot of frozen stuff. But I made a meal yesterday, and this is my lunch. This will be my lunch all week. And it is so, you do the fancy cooking. Well, that's okay too. I totally am down with that, but I just don't want people to be intimidated by fancy pants cooking. So, but this is, I was practicing my knife skills yesterday. Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait for lunch today. I was practicing my knife skills yesterday, and I was practicing my brunoise, which is those little bitty tiny cubes, those little bitty cubes right there. They're not perfect ones, so Yeah, so I was practicing that with my knife skills, and I had celery, and I had zucchini, and I had carrots, and I had bell pepper, red bell pepper, and no, it's not a fried rice. And I thought, oh, I'm just gonna make a little vegetable medley. So that turned into, I think I'll put a little bit of basmati. So there's a little bit of basmati in here. And then I thought, oh, I think I'll make some turkey sausage and put that in there as well. And so I came up with this beautiful little rice bowl that is full of protein, full of fiber, full of veggies. I can just spoon it out, reheat it. This is not fancy pants cooking. This is simple, practical, easy cooking. So, and I can eat this all week for lunch, and then I'm guaranteed that I'm eating something healthy all week. So easy, 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 easy. I can teach you how to do it. Once I write the recipe down, I will make it for you guys. It's like my own little personal recipe that just came out of my head yesterday. So that happens a lot, actually. Some of them are not worthy of eating, but this one is worthy. So yes. In fact, somebody said I should call it my ninja bowl because I was chopping. So yeah, so there you go, super easy. And there's my practical tips. If you are here for the practical tips, that portion of this scope is over. Thank you. Yeah, see you. It's nice to meet you, Lizzie. Lexi, not Lizzie, sorry, Lexi, sorry. Hi there, it's good to see you. So yes, so that part of the scope, if you're here for that part of the scope, I'm actually done with that. And now is the time on Go To Kitchen's Lunch with Leslie that I give you my little inspirational thought of the day. And this morning I was laying in bed, and I do a lot of meditation. Right after I wake, I spend a moment in time of meditation. Thank you. Yeah, you too. I spend a moment in meditation, and it's my morning ritual. It's what I do. I just lay there still. My eyes are just opening, and hi, it's good to see you. I'm sorry you missed the cooking portion. This is something that I do at the end of every scope. I have an inspirational moment. So yes. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, so this morning I was laying there, and actually our master bedroom is in our basement of this particular house. We actually chose the bedroom down there because it's quiet and cool and dark. But we do have a pretty big window in there that gets lots of daylight in it. It's like a ground level window. Anyway, whatever. So I was laying in bed, and I was laying there meditating, and I was thinking, I was actually being very grateful that I woke up with breath in my lungs this morning, which I do every single morning. I was being grateful for the mission that I feel like that I have been put on. I was feeling grateful that my eyes opened, that I could see my beautiful bedroom and feel my comfortable bed, and could hear the shower running and know that my husband was just in another room right over there. And I was just feeling very grateful. And as I slowly opened my eyes and started to look around and, you know, kind of stretching or whatever, and just feeling like this overwhelming feeling of gratitude, I look over into the windows, which have two antique pieces of stained glass in those windows. And there was this orange glow like this, and the sun does not come up on that side of the house. And I was like, oh my gosh, the sunrise must be amazing. So I flew out of bed, threw some clothes on, come running upstairs, and sure enough, the sky is like this perfectly perfect scene. And I'm just standing there in the freezing cold. It was like 22 degrees out, and I'm in kind of jammers. And I'm standing outside, you know, you can see my breath. I'm kind of shivering, and I'm just standing there in awe and just thinking how gorgeous this is, and how special and how blessed I feel that I woke up in time to see it. A lot of people would complain that they were up at 6:30. I was actually grateful to be up, to be able to see something so beautiful. And my first thought in my head was, this gives me a beautiful canvas to paint my day on today. And I just was like, oh, I just love that thought. I just love that. So I want to share that with you guys this morning or this afternoon. Whatever it is that you find in your life that gives you a beautiful canvas, you have two choices. You can, yeah, okay, yep, there you go. You can have two choices there. You have a choice to paint a beautiful picture. You have a choice to not paint a picture at all. Okay, so I want to encourage you to paint a beautiful picture. I want you to have a beautiful canvas ahead of you. I want you to find a life that is beautiful to you, and that you find that you can't stop looking at, that you're constantly looking at in awe and thinking, wow, This is amazing. I've made an amazing choice. I've made amazing decisions for my life. And I don't know what that is for you. I don't know how that is for you. It may be something as simple as going to the grocery store and buying carrots instead of donuts. Honestly, it's, maybe it's something that simple that you did for somebody today. Maybe it's sharing your message back out to the world, because I bet you every single one of you has an awesome message. Maybe it's sharing that back out to the world. Whatever that is, maybe it's just looking in the eyes of your spouse or your children and being so filled with gratefulness that you can't contain it. That is a beautiful picture that you're painting. So go out there and paint a beautiful picture for yourself. Love who you are, what you do, and what you stand for. When you have those three things in place, everything else just falls into place. So yes. Yes, that's right. It's right. Just be grateful for when it happens. It doesn't have to be every single day. I do not, all you need is love. That's right. You do not have to have that sunset every single morning, and you're not going to, sunrise every single morning. You're not going to get that kind of sunrise every single morning. Not every day is going to be rosy. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. And you know what? In my morning prayers, every single morning, I say two things. Please let me be light into dark spaces and never darkness into light spaces. That's actually my personal mantra. And the other thing is that I always say that I am grateful for the great things and I'm grateful for the difficult things, because I cannot have one without the other. If I didn't have difficult times, I wouldn't understand great times. And so I'm grateful for both of those things. And I just always pray that I have lessons out of both of those things and that I understand purpose out of everything. Everything that happens to me is a purpose. So it doesn't matter what it is. I find purpose in everything that I do. I live through life purposefully. It's just how I live. I always have. I've been taught it since I was a child. My parents invested that in me, and then it manifested as an adult. I just live with purpose. I don't live with regrets. If I do something stupid, I try not to be regretful about it. And I've done stupid things. I've done a lot of stupid things. I'm on my third marriage. That ought to tell you something, right? So it's not all been peaches and cream for me. It's been a lot of a rocky road here and there, but still, I have no regrets about those first two husbands. I just don't have any regrets about them, because they taught me a lot about myself and taught me how to be with Robin, my final and fantastic husband. That's good. That's good. That's funny, Chastity. Chastity, that's hilarious. I still screw up your name. I'm going to say, one day it's just going to roll off my tongue, but you just bear with me on that one. So I'm always intimidated to say it because I say it wrong. So no, I am absolutely real. There is no hiding here. You know what? If I had fake boobs, I tell you I have fake boobs. I mean, that's just how I am. Thank you. Thank you for being so patient with me. You know that I love you, and I love my love notes that you send me and my photos that you send me. They are precious to me. I adore them. So thank you for doing that. But yes, no, God has blessed me, and he has blessed each and every single one of you. I promise you, I swear to you that he has blessed every single one of you. It is not just me. He is no respecter of persons, and he has blessed every single one of you. It is up to you. It is absolutely up to you to manifest those blessings in your life. So my mom used to tell me, when I was a little girl, I was terrible in school. I was dyslexic, and schoolwork was, it was too much for me. I got bored. I was bored all the time. I hated school. I did not do well in school at all. Okay. And so my mom caught me one afternoon, and I was in my bed. I was in my bedroom and I was praying, and I had all my books open, and it was a math test, and I was praying, and I was like, God, please let me pass this math test. I just have to pass this math test because I want to do good in this class. And obviously she'd been standing there for a while because she heard the whole prayer, and I'm praying out loud like I always do. I don't ever pray to myself. I pray out loud. I don't care where I'm at. I just pray out loud. And so I was praying, and I have to tell you that, oh yeah, I still have a difficult time reading. It's why I have a hard time with names. It's exactly why I have a hard time with names, is because of that very thing. So you guys just have to be patient with me. So I was praying, and my mom is standing there, and I look up after praying. I was like, oh, hi Mom. I was just praying that I would pass my math test. And she was like, how much studying have you done? And I was like, well, I was just kind of she's like, you've been in here a long time. Have you been studying this whole time? And I was like, no, I was, whatever, talking to my friends on the phone and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I just started studying. And she's like, Leslie, God is not going to give you a miraculous miracle that you're going to pass your math test. You have to study for your math test. You have to find your blessing. Your blessing doesn't just come as a miracle every single time. Sometimes it does, but it just happens that you have to study. He's not just going to hand over a decent math grade and make you all of a sudden clairvoyant in math. So you actually have to study. And that just set inside of my soul for the entire rest of my life. I have thought about that I have to, even though I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual. Yeah, we get turkeys today. That's right. I'm not very religious, but I'm extremely spiritual, and God is very personal to me, inside of me. And so I was raised in a very religious home. And so still to this day, I think about that. I think about, if I want blessings, I have to manifest those blessings. I can ask for direction. I can ask for, yep, there you go. I can ask for direction. I can ask for direction. I can ask for wisdom for God. I can ask for his, please help me as I go down a path, but I still have to do the work. If I don't want cancer in my body, I can't just pray and say, God, I don't ever want cancer again, and then go through McDonald's drive-through or eat junk food or not exercise or not pay attention to my health. I can't do that. What I can do is I can say, that's awesome. I love it. What I can do is I can say, God, I need some wisdom, and I need some help. Do you think God? Yes, I absolutely think that he listens to me when I talk. Absolutely. In fact, I can feel him in every decision that I make, every decision in my life. You don't get light in your life like this, without some sort of path to look down. And that's my path. So, yes, very spiritual, not very religious, but very spiritual. So, and I don't go to church. I do not attend a church on a regular basis. Let's just get that out there. But I do have a very strong belief system. So just keeping it real with you guys. So, but I do believe that it's up to us to manifest those blessings. And so if I don't want cancer anymore, then I need to pay attention to my health. I need to pay attention to what my body's given me. And I need to pay attention that this is the only body I get. This is it. From my head to my toes, this is the only body I get, and I need to take care of it. And that is where all this journey comes from. And that's where Go-To Kitchens comes from. And that's where I come from at my heart, back out to you guys, is from those thought processes. So yes. It doesn't give you what you want. You need to work towards. Yes, absolutely. And I've had miracles in my life. I've had miracles that, I've been in places in my life where I didn't have a pot to piss in, and I was dead broke, and I didn't know how I was going to get things paid and how things were going to be taken care of. And I had tried my very hardest to make those things happen and do the best that I could do, and still couldn't make the ends meet, and I would have a miracle. And I've had that happen more than once in my life. And so, yes, it's true. I've had financial miracles. I've had health miracles. And those are just, I can't prove those to you. And I wouldn't even go through that process of trying to do that. But to me, that was a miracle. You go to church? Yeah, for the community and sharing. I've spent most of my life in church. I just choose not to now. So I was actually a youth pastor for many, many years. So shouldn't have been alive today. Yeah, I've had experiences like that. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you are alive, Clarissa. So, but yes, but you have to, no matter what you believe, no matter whether you believe in God or not, you still, yes, yeah, good. Yeah, I'm the same way. And you know what? I have no grudge against anybody that goes to church 5 times a week. And I don't have any grudge against anybody who doesn't believe in God. Those are personal choices. I have made a personal choice. This is a personal choice to me. I'm not pushing my beliefs out on you. I'm just trying to tell you where I come from. And then that is just, yeah. You have your own religion. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, I have, Spirituality is great. Yes, it makes me a very peaceful person. So yes. And my husband was actually, when we met, he was actually agnostic, meaning that he did not believe in a God at all. And the longer we lived together, this will make me cry. The longer we lived together and the more he saw the light that radiated from me, he wanted a piece of that. I just like a piece of that. Whatever you got there, I want a piece of that. And so, so he started doing a lot of soul searching. I mean, he just really started digging deep and trying to decide, what if there is a God? He started asking himself that question, and has turned into an extremely spiritual person, and is just a beautiful human being. I mean, he was a beautiful human being when I met him. He did not need those boundaries that, God and religion puts on a lot of people, because he was just naturally just a beautiful soul. I mean, and obviously I wouldn't have been with him if he wasn't, but light just already radiated out of him anyway. And then when we started spending more and more time together, he was like, what is, and I didn't even talk to him about God. I just don't talk to most people about my belief systems. But I do talk about that I pray a lot, and then people want to know where do you stand, and so I don't mind saying where I stand. But yeah, he was just like, there's just something different. There's just like the next level about you, and I would love to know what that next level is. What is that next level? And I'm like, well, it's my belief in God. I mean, you hear me praying, you hear me saying prayers. I pray every single day of my life, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. And so I'm just, that's the difference. That's my grounding. That's where I found where I ground is, when I have that spiritual stronghold. So he started doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of reading, and had a couple of things happen to him that he thought were miraculous and that he couldn't explain. And so now we have the same belief system. So we are different strokes for different folks. You know what? And I believe that, one of the people in the world that I respect the absolute very, very most, that I think is the most radiant light that we have living on this planet right now, is a Buddhist monk, and it's the Dalai Lama. And if you have never read anything from the Dalai Lama, I highly recommend that you get something and read it. He is the most beautiful spiritual light I have ever seen that is a human being living on this planet. He is so grounded and so practical in his thought processes that it just amazes me. And if you're a Christian, you might be offended by that, and you shouldn't be. You should feel gratitude towards somebody that has that much spiritual light, because it's not about, at that point, it's not even about his religion. It is about his grounding. It is about his grounding as a human being on this planet. And I would just encourage you, if you've never read of anything of his, there's a book where he was interviewed called The Art of Happiness. And I highly recommend that if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with depression, if you're struggling with anything where everything is offends you, if you get offended easily by people and by things, I highly recommend that you read something by the Dalai Lama and get some enlightenment about things like that, because it will temper you down to an amazing degree. So yes, the Pope is actually quite amazing as well. I knew that this was a special man. The first time I heard him speak, I was like, oh, I really like him. And I went to a Catholic school because of my dyslexia. I was actually, our public school system recommended a Catholic school to my parents for me to go to. And I went to a Catholic school where they helped me overcome my dyslexic disability. Right? But this man is also amazing, and also, I believe, a radiant light that is not held within the constraints of his religion. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And that's where I think that some people get it wrong. They hold themselves within the constraints of their religion instead of just shining their light, It doesn't matter, just shine your light. That's all you really need to do, is just shine your light. Because if you believe in heaven or hell, I do not practice what I practice and believe what I believe because I'm afraid of going to hell. I practice it because I want to be a decent human being on this planet, and I want to smile all the time. And so we think very similar, yeah. And so So I look for people that I find light in, and I think that he's an amazing light for that. But I think religions kind of contract people into a little box, and they're not allowed to practice their light even as bright as they could. So, and I believe that about all religions. I mean, even Christianity, the different facets of that. And then if you're a Muslim, if you are a Buddhist, if you are a Hindu, I think that there's some constraints in there that kind of hold you back from shining your light as bright as you possibly could. And the reason is because you build some animosity towards other religions. And so when you strip off that religion aspect, and you can still go to church and not be religious, but when you strip off that religious aspect and you start thinking about the light instead of thinking about the darkness in other religions, but you think about their light aspect, then you can start gaining appreciation for the human being and the humankind that you actually live on this planet with. So yes, and that's how we achieve world peace, by the way, is when we stop being so negative about everybody else's belief systems. Our country was founded on that. So yeah, and it's actually, Clarissa, it's where I differed a lot. I was raised in a non-denominational church, and yeah, and it's where I am very, very different in that way. You know, going to church, when I was going to church, it would have been very frowned upon for me to be in a marriage with Robin, because he was agnostic and he did not believe in God at all. We would be considered unequally yoked, as according to the Bible. And so, and my parents were very disappointed when they found out that he was not a Christian. And so, but I can tell you that the relationship I have with him is the strongest bond I've ever had in my entire life. So there was certainly nothing wrong with me having a relationship with this man, and he's amazing. And, you know, had I just not given him a chance, he would have never even changed his belief system, which was never my goal in the first place. I didn't care if he changed or not. He was an awesome human being, and that's all I was attracted to. I was attracted to his natural light that he projected out into the world. So yeah. So yes, that has totally gotten off of subject. We went from kitchen tools to religion, just like that. And people ask me all the time, are you conservative? Are you liberal? I'm for what's right. Whatever's right is what I'm for. Whoever is doing what's right for the human race, that's what I'm for. So yes. Yeah.